I've had this idea on my mind for a while and I decided to finally act on it. This artwork is my own interpretation and a snapshot of how the world looked in 2025, captured and preserved in fiber for future generations. I wanted to create something that could exist as both a record and art, something tactile, something slow, something intentional. And obviously, being someone who crochets, this felt like the perfect fit. This piece is titled The Weight of the World Today 2025. It takes the form of a crocheted bag mounted on a canvas, a bag which is meant to carry things. And that's exactly what this piece is doing. It's carrying the weight of the world. This bag is made up of 12 individual squares, and each square represents a condition of the world in 2025, not in an abstract way, but in a very real, lived, and human way. I'll walk you through each square, what it represents, what it means to me personally, and how it connects to the things that actually happened in 2025. The first square represents a burning cityscape. So we have the buildings, and this is used to represent the fire, the burning stuff. This square represents conflict, war, and the collapse of safety. Cities are supposed to be the symbol of civilization, homes, hospitals. But then when a city burns, it means that normal life has failed. In 2025, we witnessed lots of cities becoming battlegrounds instead of communities. Bombed neighborhoods, bombed infrastructures, burned civilians, caught in conflicts they didn't choose. Entire populations living with the constant threat of displacement, and a lot of people were also displaced. What makes this even heavier is how normalized it has become. Burning cities no longer shock us the way they should. They pass through our screens as headlines and most times as background noise. This square is a reminder that behind every burning city, people are actually losing homes. History is being erased, and the sense of safety for a lot of people is also being erased. The second square shows hands gripping metal bars. So this represents mass incarceration, political imprisonment, and silenced voices. This speaks to something broader, systems that trap people with no easy way out. In 2025, prisons are still overflowing. People are detained without trials. Protesters are arrested for speaking out. Journalists are jailed. Activists disappear. In many places, simply existing as the wrong person or being at the wrong place at the wrong time can put you behind bars. The hands gripping the bars aren't just asking for freedom, they're asking to be seen, to be heard, to be treated as human. This square asks a hard question: who gets freedom and who has to fight just to breathe? The third square shows protesters with raised hands. This square represents resistance, unrest, and our collective voice. In 2025, protests remains one of the most visible ways people respond when systems fail them. We've seen protests against police brutality, corruption, economic inequality, government repression, gender violence, environmental destruction, and a whole lot more. What stands out to me is that protest has become a global language. Raised fists, marching bodies, signs held high. When institutions refuse to listen, people use their presence as proof that something is wrong. This square acknowledges that protest is not chaos, it's communication. This fourth square shows ice melting. So this represents climate change and time running out, basically. In 2025, climate change is no longer a future threat, it's a present reality. Rising sea levels, extreme heats, floods, wildfires, crops failing, communities being forced to relocate due to climate change. The slow melting ice reflects how climate collapse happens gradually, then suddenly, and because it's slow, it's often ignored. This square asks, what happens when the damage is irreversible? But we are still debating whether it's real. This fifth square represents factories. So we have this black I used to represent like oil spillage and our ocean being polluted, and I have this black yarn which is also used to represent like the air pollution. So we have the land and the sea pollution, and we have the air pollution. In 2025, corporations continue to profit while ecosystems suffer. Rivers poisoned, air is polluted, communities are forced to live with contaminated water because profit is prioritized over people. The air in most of these communities is also polluted like crazy. I'm from Nigeria and I lived in Port Harcourt, which is the oil producing state in Nigeria. Most of the air, basically the entire air we had or we have because it's still ongoing, was polluted. We called it black soot, and you couldn't have anything white around that state. As long as you're in the state, if you are with something white, if you're putting on a white cloth, if you are with something white, like I have the white canvas here, over time, and when I say over time, it's not about it being a couple of years or whatever. It's basically days. It could be like before the end of today, this entire white surface will look black. And this is something we breathe in. Nothing is being done. And this isn't the only place this is happening. It's happening all over the world. The dark water beneath the factories symbolize consequences that are pushed out of sight, downstream, overseas, or into poorer communities, like the one I lived in. This square shows how progress often comes at a cost of someone's health, someone's life, and someone's future. The sixth square shows a broken heart bound by wire. So we have the hearts, and I use the white for the left side, the red for the right side, and the wire trying to like join them together. It represents emotional trauma, our collective grief, and broken systems. In 2025, mental health is in crisis. Burnout is normalized. The hustle culture is normalized. Things like anxiety, depression, and grief are widespread. People are expected to keep functioning while carrying unbearable emotional weight. The wire I used here represents restriction, the inability to heal fully when systems continue to cause harm. This square reminds us that not all wounds are visible and not all suffering is loud. This seventh square represents the radiation symbol. It represents irreversible damage and dangerous power. In 2025, nuclear threats, environmental toxicity, and technological recklessness still loom large. Whether it's nuclear energy debates, chemical spills, or long-term environmental contamination, the question remains the same. This square speaks to consequences that last longer than generations. This eighth square represents the earth itself. It represents our shared responsibility. We all live on this earth. We all occupy this earth. Every issue in this piece, war, pollution, injustice, exploitation, leads back to our planet. The earth doesn't choose sides. It absorbs everything. So no matter how we try to divide ourselves, no matter how we try to segregate ourselves, no matter how we try to fight amongst ourselves, we are still one nation, one people. We still occupy this earth. And everything, either good or bad, we do, either to ourselves or the planet, is still going to affect the earth which we live on, which in turn still affects all of us. So if I end up harming my brother or I harm my sister, in a way, I'm still harming myself because it still goes like a full circle and it still comes back to me. This ninth square represents trees. So I have this tree here and this tree here. So they basically represent fragile hope and regeneration. In 2025, despite everything that goes on, despite everything that still goes on, there's still hope. Communities still rebuild. People still care for each other. Activists keep fighting, they keep going. Artists keep documenting, like myself. This is my own form of documentation. These trees stand to show that even with all the chaos going on all around us, there's still hope. This 10th square represents death and loss. It represents all the losses we've had and we are still going to have as a race. We've all lost someone, we've all lost something, we've all lost people, we've lost both tangible and intangible things. Behind all the policies, behind all the wars, behind all the conflicts, there's only someone losing. there's always someone losing, and we still collectively lose as a whole. In 2025, lives continue to be lost unnecessarily, and this square represents that. This 11th square shows uneven scales. So we have this scale going down while this is going up with the person attached to it. So it basically represents inequality and injustice. Justice exists as an idea, but access to it is uneven. In 2025, wealth, race, gender, nationality, and a whole lot of different factors still determine who is protected and who is punished. That isn't fair. This square represents fairness in itself. And the last square, which is this one, is something that hits more to home. This square shows the Nigerian flag, which is where I'm from, and the red shows the dripping blood. And I also have this wire, basically this wire going this way and this way. And this square represents violence, corruption, insecurity, and loss. Kidnappings are on the high rise in Nigeria, police brutality, economic hardship, lives lost to systems that fail to cater to the people. We just have corrupt politicians, corrupt leaders, people who don't give a damn about the people that they are meant to be serving. This has been going on and on and on, and it keeps going on. I included this square to acknowledge that while these issues are global, they are also local. This is my reality, and this is where I'm speaking from. The blood is not symbolic, it's literal. It reflects the costs Nigerians pay every day. In summary, this artwork is meant to document. Crochet is slow, it forces you to sit, think, and reflect while you are making whatever stuff you are making. Every stitch becomes a moment of reflection. That slowness is intentional. This piece asks one simple question: what does it mean to carry the weight of the world as it is right now? This is the weight of the world, 2025. Thank you for listening. Thank you for witnessing.